So hey everyone, I'm Rasmus and yes, I'm still 16. Some people have asked me, are you still 16? Yes, I am. And today I will tell you a little bit about my journey as a startup founder and in general about what I have learned in the startup world in the past few years. But let's go back when I was 13. We had a school assignment that we should read an autobiography of someone and then make a presentation. And I read one book that you could really say that changed my life or spark an interest in me in really having a wide impact on the world. Can anyone guess what that book might be? An autobiography. Yes. Yes, it was the autobiography of Elon Musk. And I don't know how many people of you have read that book, Elon Musk's autobiography. Okay, I see a few hands. But basically, in general, the story of Elon Musk is very inspiring. But for me, the main takeaway I took from that is Elon started very young. He read a lot of books when he was young. He didn't post memes on Twitter back then. He just grinded, made video games, earned money. And what I realized is when I want to have a big impact on the world, then I need to understand what I'm good at a young age or what I'm interested in, and then just put a lot of effort in it and hopefully become successful at it or just have a big impact. So that's what I did. I started to learn and try new things. So obviously for first logical path for me was, since Elon Musk was an engineer, I tried to learn a lot about engineering and programming. But back when I was 13, I realized, okay, that's probably not the right path for me now. But then I tried dropshipping. So I don't know, have any of you heard of it? But it's this model of you have an e-commerce store, and then you basically all the things you sell from China. So I tried to sell this neck massager, and it was really an educating experience for me, as I optimized the store for really long-term growth and negotiated with suppliers to make sure that okay, we have enough supply if there is a lot of demand. But in the end we didn't sell any products, but I spent a whole summer working on it and just got a lot of great experience from that. And then I stumbled across so I was 14 in 8th grade, and I stumbled across an article of an Estonian a business news site. And I saw that they were talking about the richest people in Estonia, and I recognized some names, some of the companies, so Bolt, Wise, but obviously I knew what the companies were doing, but I have never heard of the founders. So I was okay, this is very interesting. They're obviously very influential people. They have done something right, that they are having so much impact. And then I really saw that, okay, Markus Villig, the founder and CEO of Bolt, is this a really young guy, and how did he get here? So obviously, as anyone my age would do, I typed his name into YouTube and started watching a few of his speeches at events like this. And that for me was very inspiring, as he started Bolt also out of high school when he was 19, and now it has gone to a multi-billion-dollar startup with a very high growth rate. And then I really saw that okay, the world of startups is very interesting. So I just started to learn more. I found when I was I was 14 back then, started watching a lot of videos on YouTube and just in general on the internet about what are these startups and how to build them. And when other people my age were playing computer games and doing bad jokes, then I was watching videos about startup funding and how to startup options work, and still doing bad jokes. But that's not the point. And from that I really got this interest, and I got a lot of theoretical knowledge, but I needed to put it into practice. And then it was the spring of 2021, and there was this youth program that helped to basically the idea was that you have a team and you try to promote one startup. So basically my team worked with an Estonian physical activity startup called DoBu. So they have like this app where you can create like challenges for a team to motivate people to move. And our idea was to like promote it to Estonian schools by creating a Estonian school-wide competition between like physical activities. Everyone was like back then just in their home and doing like distance learning. So we started like getting the idea, and then when we launched the competition, you can see like the number of registrants. So in the beginning there was like only 8 people who registered, and like all of them from one school invited by my friend. And I realized, okay, we have done like something wrong, or we need to like change something quickly. So we did like wrote a lot of Estonian like TV channels, radio channels, and in the end we got to one of the like biggest TV channels in Estonia, and also like one of the biggest like radio channels, and promoted our event there. And here you can see like more in the end like more than 10% of like Estonian schools participated, and more than like 800 like people who took part in it in total. And that was like in a very short amount of time. And during that like program I also had my first pitch. So really like really good experience for me, and there I got to drive that, okay, I want to like build a startup and this is what I want to do. And then the program ended, I was going forward, and I was always like bouncing ideas on what would be a good like startup idea. And I like found out that in my home I should like change my air filter for my home, or like for my room, every 6 months. But it turns out I hadn't done that for like the past 12 years. It was very dusty. And then I talked to some other people, and they had like the same problem, that they just don't know what to do. It's like all the info about homes is on like papers and so on. So I came up with like a solution, and of like an all-in-one home app. I wrote it down as an idea. So like a recommendation for you guys is, if you have like a idea, just write it down. That's also like an advice that a friend of mine gave, is just like write the idea down. But I was still 14 back then, didn't have many connections, so it stayed on the paper. But I wanted to like do like more interesting stuff. So just my friend's dad said that, hey, do you want to like participate in this 100-kilometer boating marathon? And I was like never a sporty kid. I had run like 5 kilometers at like one time before that. But I was like, okay, sure, let's try it. So we started like practicing, and in the end, in like 18 hours, we like completed the 100 kilometers. And for me, it was really like I just realized that if you like push yourself, you can do a lot of things. So you just have to like be strong like mentally. And after that, I like contacted the company that I worked with the like challenge, and I said that, hey, if you have like any way that I can like help you, or just like be useful for you, then like let me know. And they were like, okay, sure, since they were like very impressed of what I had done in the short amount of time with the like event. So there I was, 14, and I got my first job in a startup in sales. So here, like I put my LinkedIn profile picture back there to like show you how like young me was doing the demos to like bigger companies about the solution. So I don't know, like for me it looks like much younger. For you, I probably like look the same here, but yeah. And then I learned like a lot, so anything from like the sale processes to how to send like emails, how to connect with people on LinkedIn, what messages to use, and so on. So like one time I had this call with the Canadian like a big company, and I had like a few of their like a few hundred employees, and their HR directors on the other side of the screen. And I thought I did like a great presentation of the product, but then they looked at me like very weird. So that's like usually how the presentations went, since like when someone like this is like staring at you at the end of the screen, you probably like think what's going on. But for me, I was like very grateful for the like opportunity, and I learned a lot of things. But I went back to school. It was like 9th grade back then, and obviously like you cannot really do the demos during the school day, and after that people have already ended their work. So I kind of like skipped that, skipped the demo part, and just like started sending emails and helping the company. But then I had some free time, and thought that, okay, maybe I should try something interesting as well. So I like took a quick dip into politics. I like participated in some Estonian like politics events, so like Model European Parliament, Estonian like Youth Parliament, and in the end it was like a great experience in terms of like public speaking and so on, giving a few speeches in the Parliament, and also like representing Estonia and like the like Model European Parliament in Germany and so on. But I realized, okay, politics is not for me. As you know, the people just talk, but no action. You know, and that's if you want to have like an impact on the world, then that's not the place for me. And I always kind of smile when like these young politicians say that, oh, I want to have like a impact. That's why I'm joining politics young. But like you will never accomplish anything there. If you like want to do something, then I realize that like entrepreneurship is the way. Like building a company that actually solves a problem is like the right way to do something. And then my friends or like family friends who worked at a very cool startup called Solve, which is basically fighting financial crime, they said that, hey, we really like what you're doing, and do you want to like help us also in like sales this summer or become an intern? And I said sure. And here's just a few pictures to like illustrate it. I didn't take many pictures back then, so this was like the only picture I could find where like after work some astronaut came to Estonia and I had the Salv hoodie on. So, and here is just, we had like a summer party and me and the CEO like accidentally or coincidentally dressed up as the like same person. But there I also like when you're given an opportunity, take the like maximum out of it. So since there were like a lot of experienced people there, I took like a lot of like one-on-ones with people, learned about different sectors, how to like do different stuff, and just like take the maximum of like every opportunity you're given. But after the internship I attended, I had like 1 week of summer vacation left. So I saw this like youth hackathon and decided to like participate in it. And there we also like during 1 week we built like a prototype. We built so the idea was like basically like a productivity or like time planning app. It didn't like work out, but it was very good experience for me to just like see that you can accomplish a lot in 1 week. You know, like just. You know, in Estonia, the startup community is quite close, so you can just like call the founders of big companies and get a lot of advice quickly. And there, I just learned the power that if you like push yourself in a short amount of time, you can do a lot of things. And after that, I just kind of went on with my life for a few days or like a week. And then my friend Siim approached me and he talked about this problem that his friends had with buying an apartment, that all the documentation is like bad and there's just all around issues with like managing your home. And then I realized, and then he like proposed a solution, and then something clicked in my head that like, okay, this is almost like the same solution I had written down on paper like a year ago. So we decided to try, okay, see what happens with it. We went to a Garage 48 hackathon, and there we got like positive feedback. We saw that, okay, there's a real problem in the like real estate industry, that a lot of things are old on paper and it's just hard for the people to manage. And then we decided, okay, well, let's try to build this thing or try to work it out. Let's see what happens. So we took part in a few like competitions, accelerators, as still in the beginning we were like quite inexperienced. We didn't know much, but with us was the thing that we like in the beginning probably like took part in like too many competitions, or we did get a lot of wins, but we like spent a lot of time like, you know, like applying to these competitions and writing some like kind of useless papers for the competitions instead of like building the actual product. But like we did win the Estonian like students inventors competition and Starter Tallinn, which is a accelerator hosted by Estonian universities, but I think we were the only like high school students there, and we like still won it. And also like got to like promote our idea on the biggest like radio channel in Estonia. But there also like the like lesson I learned from that is just if you like have some sort of event or opportunity, then like take the maximum out of it. Or here we also didn't plan to like come to TechChill, but someone or like the same accelerator said, hey, we have a few tickets left like a few weeks ago, and I saw there's this like open mic competition still open, so I decided to apply. So just like every chance you get or everywhere you go, just like take the maximum out of it. And then with DoBu, initially, like we focused more on the real estate developer side when buying a new apartment or a house and so on. But then, like we realized, okay, that's when you're like quite young, so like people don't want to trust you that much. So we need to like focus on something initially that like is easier to test and try. So right now, within like 6 months, we did 2 pivots, and then we decided to focus more on this like private house owner. And basically, currently, what we're building is a home management platform where like all the info about your home is in one place. You get reminders on when to change different stuff, when to do maintenance. You can like easily access all of the technical info of your home, the manuals, and then later also like order the right parts and services through us. And yeah, this is just like the reminder that, you know, take every chance and also just have fun while doing it. So all of these things are related to like winter swimming. So the next speaker will talk about personal branding. I think the personal branding for me in Estonia has like centered a lot around the winter swimming, as I took part in a few like cold water pitching competitions. And again, here you can see us talking in the ice tub to like also one of the biggest TV channels in Estonia. But like a lot of these things I have just talked about would have never happened if I hadn't just like said a few extra sentences when talking to someone, sent like one email, made one phone call. So like a lot of these things just wouldn't have happened. So you need to like just try, you know. If you fail, then that's like okay. But if you don't, then you can like do like awesome stuff like this, and they also have fun while doing it. There's a lot of the times it can be hard, and if you make like a few bad jokes along the way, then hopefully like the stuff will get better. And yeah, right now with DoBu we're like launching a new prototype, as we like did the 2 pivots, and I realized that that's not the way. So just also like building a prototype and doing everything in a startup first time is like very interesting. But as I like showed the like YouTube videos and stuff before, like for you as well, like all the info about basically everything in the world is online. So you just need to like search it. There's like kind of no excuses. So you don't know anything, you like write to someone, you search it online, and you can like easily like be not an expert, but have a very good like knowledge about the area in a short amount of time. And like many people are asking what's next, as I'm still 16. Have not the age during these few minutes, but it's really like a quick compilation of what I have done in the past like 3 years, how I've gotten to this point where I am now. And I don't know where I'll be in the next 3 years, but hopefully we'll see again in some event, and then I can tell you what has happened in the then last 3 years. And if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, then you can just find me by my name, Rasmus Merirand, and we can talk. And if you just have any questions, we can like talk later on here. And also, if anyone is going to Tallinn after TechChill and has 2 extra seats in their car, then we can also have a much longer chat about this journey. But yeah, thank you everyone, and if you have any questions, then feel free to ask.